Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take from Monday night, March the 3rd. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thanks everyone for being here. Let's pray for no technical issues tonight. There were no Canucks After Dark tonight, as Parker messaged me early in the evening and said that tomorrow night was better for him. And I said, that's fine with me. So I tried to get the word out as much as I could. Well, at least I put something on my community tab. So if you were there expecting Canucks After Dark, I apologize, but you have to come see us tomorrow night. We're likely starting at 10:15 tomorrow night to make sure I have time to get home from bowling. That's what I was trying to say. So tonight, gonna really throw it to you for a lot of tonight's show. And because I'm doing my show tonight at 11, I will not be doing a show tomorrow night. So no problem, Harry. You're a busy guy. We all are busy guys. So moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's Legends, Hall of Fame, and franchise members, thank you for your support. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston and Richmond, in the city, lower mainland, province, country, continent, around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or better, all three. But the fact that you are here with me right here, right now, know how much I always appreciate you, and I never, ever take you for granted. So this is how you can get involved tonight. You can subscribe to the channel, get active in the chat section, get notified of my videos. You can like the video, like the fact that the Canucks didn't lose today because they didn't play today. They didn't win today either. Like the fact that the Canucks are still tied for the final playoff spot. Like the fact that we are together. Like the fact it's trade deadline on Friday, so we could have some exciting things to talk about. And like the fact that we are continuing to build such a great Canucks community here on YouTube. You can leave a donation and get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership. You can buy your own membership. You can upgrade your own membership. You can use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and you review. Last night's show was a lot of fun. Despite the technical issues, we gave away a pair of tickets to the Canucks versus Wild this Friday. I'll be, if you're watching, I won't say the person's name, but Canucks 5656, if you're watching, I will send those off to you later tonight. And if you're wondering what happened in the NHL, there are 6 games, but none of them involve teams that the Canucks are basically fighting with for the playoff spot. And I think of Calgary, who we're tied with, and I think of Utah and St. Louis, who are kind of sneaking up from behind, but both of those teams, we have games in hand on them. Whereas with Calgary, exact same number of games, exact same number of points. So when we look ahead to Friday's trade deadline, it is so crazy that the trade deadline is already here, even though it was later this year because of the Four Nations. Because of the Four Nations, there wasn't a lot of activity. So now I think a lot of teams are going to start to ramp up and see what happens over the next few days. My poll question to you is, what should the Canucks do? Should they stand pat, do absolutely nothing? Should they be a traditional buyer and push for a playoff run, i.e. last year's Zadorov and Elias Lindholm? And then it usually means giving away some future assets. Should they become a seller and basically blow things up? Or even if they don't blow things up, at least sell some major pieces? And then, or should they just kind of tinker a bit without changing much? Maybe 1 or 2 minor moves without giving away too much, without getting too much, but I'm not sure how much that is going to move the needle, to be honest with you. So before I go to you, I just want to lay out some scenarios that I've been kind of going through in my head. Whenever you think of the trade deadline, you think of your UFAs, i.e. guys whose contract expire on July the 1st. And the age-old question is always, what do we do with these UFAs? Do we re-sign them, or do we keep them, or do we trade them? Now, the first two, keeping and re-signing, kind of go together. you don't necessarily have to re-sign them before the trade deadline. But if you have a pretty good feeling that you're going to be able to re-sign these players, then you stand pat. Or is it, sorry, that re-signing them isn't the option. The three options are you stand pat and oh no, actually the best way to put it, the three options would be, one of them is to re-sign them, one of them is to stand pat, and then one of them is to actually trade them. Now the re-signing one, it could happen before the trade deadline or after, up until July 1st. The second one, stand pat, that's the risky one. That's how in the summer 2020 we lost Edler, Tanev, Toffoli, and Stetcher all in the same summer, right after we made that really fun bubble run. So that was really unfortunate that we lost all four of those players at the same time. And then the third option is to trade Brock Besser because you don't think you're going to be able to re-sign him, or you don't want to re-sign him by the end of the season. So yes, it is a Swervin Yrvin. It is a multi-layered question. I don't think I laid it out too good. I also don't think that I fooled around with my settings on the camera, but it still doesn't look as sharp as I want it to. But it's okay. It's a bit more focused than yesterday, but I'm not convinced that it's the clearest I've ever seen. So I got to figure out what I did to my camera, but I'll worry about that before tomorrow's show. So make sure you vote in the poll. We'd love to get your feedback. So I want to lay out a few scenarios for you. The first scenario, let's look at the UFAs. Brock Besser. Brock Besser is the biggest one because he's been here for 9 seasons since we drafted him way back in 2015. And he's a UFA. He's making $6.65 million. Oh yeah, sorry. It was Markstrom that we lost. It was Markstrom. Did we lose? No, Markstrom. We lost to the. Did we lose Markstrom to the expansion draft, or did we actually not sign him? That's a really good point, Swervin Yrvin. I can't remember. I always thought it was. I thought it was the 4 of Tanev, Edler, Toffoli, Stetcher. Anyways, wait. Calgary signed him. So we did lose him as a free agent. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, I want to look that up now. I can't believe I got that wrong. Canucks UFA summer 2020. Actually, how do we do this? Let's try this. Who did the Canucks lose summer 2020? I don't know. It's too easy, too hard for me to find. But I thought it was Tanev, Edler, Toffoli, Stetcher, and Markstrom. That's crazy. Anyway. Yeah, okay. Markstrom and Tanev went to Calgary. Toffoli went to Montreal. Stetcher left. Edler left too, right? Edler left too. Anyway, so Brock Besser, 9 years. He's done 3 contracts worth 3 years, and he's the biggest one because, one option would be not to do anything and hope to re-sign him before July 1st. Another option would be to trade him now and get some value for him, whether you do a hockey trade and get a player back for him, or you package him up, or you take whatever assets you get and you make a future move, whether it's during this trade deadline or later in the summer, kind of like what they did with the proceeds from the Bo Horvat trade. And Brock Besser is the longest tenured Canuck. We know he loves the city. We know the rumor is we gave him a contract offer of 5 years times $8 million, which he rejected. Probably wants more than the 5 years. I think the $8 million is pretty good. So that will be the most fascinating story to watch as we go, as we get closer to the trade deadline. And a couple of you are saying, like Ian just says, 4 days until Besser is gone. Oh, Edler didn't leave till 2021. Thank you, Swervin Yrvin. So the 4 that left were Markstrom, Tanev, Toffoli, and Stetcher. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, it didn't feel right that Edler left in 2020. He was here for another year. Okay, that made a lot of sense. Thank you. Another UFA is Pius Suter. We signed him 2 summers ago, or basically a summer and a half ago, and he's been great. He had a $1.6 million contract for each of his 2 years here. And, he's going to be very valuable to a playoff bound team. And, I'm not writing off the Canucks from the playoffs, but as I've always said, even if the Canucks do make the playoffs, how much damage are they going to do? How much damage are they going to do once they get into the playoffs? So that one's tricky. Because, he's a kind of what you call a Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades. He can play up and down our lineup in the middle or on the wing. But that's what makes him so valuable to another team. So if you think that Pius Suter is going to be too expensive, not you, if the Canucks think that Pius Suter is going to be too expensive next season, $2.5, $3 million, $3.5 million, then that's another player who's going to be very valuable on a team that likely has deeper playoff aspirations than the Vancouver Canucks. Hey, Rev Trev, nice to see you. Hope you had a good show tonight. Predicting 3 Canucks will be traded. Interesting. Because the question I asked today is, what should the Canucks do with the trade deadline? It kind of goes hand in hand with what you think the Canucks are what kind of splash are they going to make in the playoffs? Because if management really wants to get that playoff revenue, that $1 million a game, and I'm not dismissing that as inconsequential, they might think that they can squeeze out a 2 rounds of games. I don't know how you're going to beat Winnipeg, Vegas, or Edmonton in a 7-game series, but then that would be the only scenario where the Canucks make a big splash and become buyers, which I don't think anyone would agree would be a good move. So there's Besser. There is Pius Suter, some other UFAs. I heard a lot of discourse on the radio this morning. Noah Juleson won't get anything for you because unfortunately he's out with the hernia surgery. And then Derek Forbort, who I think has been good. He's like, I don't want to say poor man's Ian Cole, but he's does some Ian Cole type things, but maybe not as vocal in the locker room, maybe not as aggressive. And we simply haven't seen Forbort play as much as Ian Cole played last year. But given the emergence of DPD on the left side, you might think that Forbort is expendable because you have Pettersson, and Pettersson and Hughes on the left side. I almost said Pettersson. I almost made Elias Pettersson a defenseman. So yeah, you have Hughes, Pettersson on the left side. On the right side, you have Hronek, Myers, and then you want to have space for Verlander and Mancini. So does that also mean Carson Soucy may be a trade chip this Friday? So you got Besser, Suter, and Forbort as the UFAs, and you have Carson Soucy, who was a healthy scratch 1 game, who might bring some value to a team looking to make the playoffs. So those are the UFAs: Besser, Suter, and Derek Forbort. Everyone else is either RFA or a signed pass this season, along with Noah Juleson. So what camp are you? Do you want them to make a big splash? Why not? Let's just make some news, make some waves. Do you want them to tinker a little bit? Do you want them to sell and to start to look ahead to next season already? And then my last thing, which I'll talk about, which I've talked about like on 2 consecutive shows, but I'll say one more thing. Yeah, I didn't even mention Pettersson yet. And I don't think you trade him before Friday unless you get a really good deal for him, but it's just not good asset management from a standpoint of he's basically at his all-time low. His market value is at his all-time low right now because of how poorly he's playing. Do you hope that he turns around for the final quarter of the season and then either he helps you get to the playoffs and or you both can be true, and you still trade him around the draft when there are more teams interested, when you can more picks come into play? So those are the 3 options with Petey. You trade him before Friday, you trade him at the draft or before June 30th or July 1, his no move kicks in, which doesn't mean you can't trade him. It just means it becomes a lot more difficult to trade him. Yep. And some of you are saying just get rid of the contract, and that's a help. Just get that 11.6 off the books. But then who around the league's got $11.6 million of space right now? Well, I guess Florida might be close because they put Matthew Tkachuk on and his 9.5 on LTIR. So last thing I'll say, and then I'll get into, I'll do my Mitchell sponsor read early and get into some of your questions. Probably only go for about 40 to 45 minutes tonight. But the question to you is, and I bring it up every time because I do think that I'm very fascinated by the whole nuance of Quinn Hughes. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I'll say it one more time. Traditional thinking, conventional logic would say, don't do a rebuild because Hughes would not like that, and we will likely lose him in 2 years once his contract is up, because why would he want to be around for a rebuild? That's conventional wisdom. But then the line of thinking that I've brought up in the past few days, and not just me, I've heard other people talk about it, is you actually have a better chance of keeping Quinn Hughes if you do rebuild, because he might not want to, depending on what other moves the Canucks make, he might not want to stick around for the next 2 seasons, or he might be dreading the next 2 seasons if it's going to be more like this year and less like last season. So do you not rebuild for the risk of losing Quinn Hughes, or do you rebuild due to the risk of losing Quinn Hughes if you don't? And then a couple of you were smart. They just said, well, if Quinn Hughes is so powerful and his opinion is so valued, which it is, as the captain, as the best defenseman we've ever had on our team, as a Norris Trophy winner, then the question is, go to Quinn and ask him what he wants. Hey, Quinn, would you be willing to help us, lead us through a rebuild, if it's a quick rebuild or a quick retool, and we're going to go after these guys and this is how we're going to do it? Or, hey, Quinn, would you support it if we don't do a rebuild? Would that make you more apt to leave? And, I think you say it a little bit more cagey than that, but you could, there you go. Victor's saying right here, just ask Quinn Hughes what he wants. And Skytrain Alfred just says, we need to make deals that'll make him happy. And Yrvin says, I get what you mean, Clay. He deserves to see what we were trying to turn a new leaf, and that manager was making an effort. And then Ryan Thompson says, sell everything by the time his contract ends, let him decide. And Coach Rob is the best. Maybe phone him now and ask him. So I'm actually going to call Quinn. 778. Well, I shouldn't say his number out loud. 778. Wait, it's 11 o'clock though. I shouldn't be calling him. Although he had a day off. Yeah. So I thought. He has his phone on Do Not Disturb, so maybe next time I'll leave him a voicemail, but I don't want him to think I'm some creeper guy calling him at 11:15. So lots of things to think about. I'm going to end the poll right now and see what you have to say. Then let it marinate with you for a couple minutes while I do my Mitchell sponsor read, and then I'll get into all of your questions and all of your comments. So I said, what would you like the Canucks to do before Friday's trade deadline? 36% of you said tinker. Oh, Emmy Award. Thank you, Victor. Tinker a bit without changing much. 36%. Then right with it is 35% said buy big and make a playoff run. Wow. We got some optimism here. And then 22% says sell and begin a rebuild. And then 5% of you saying stand pat. So stand pat is obviously not an option when it comes to all of you. Let's start off my mid-show sponsor read by thanking my primary sponsor, and that is Jason Lim of Van City Experts. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts Real Estate. At Van City Experts, their experience, knowledge, and expertise can serve you well in navigating through the real estate market and will help you to choose the best home or condo in the greater Vancouver area that best suits your and your family's needs. Thanks also to my secondary sponsor, Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. You can check him out at coachpatrickliu.com/clay and receive a free 5-day workout when you do so. Thank you to Gassy Jet Art, maker of that fine artwork. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off of your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Thanks to everyone who's purchased Canuck Clay merch. You can support me by doing so at canuckclay.threadless.com. And don't forget that my shows this week. Oh, actually, I messed this up last night when I shared this with you. So I better fix it right here, right now, so no one gets mad at me. So we were planning to do Canucks After Dark tonight, but Parker couldn't. So we moved it to tomorrow. So tomorrow's show will be Canucks After Dark, 10:15. Then I will not do my own show tomorrow night. I will do a show then Wednesday night. It will be a post-game show, Canucks versus Ducks on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday night, I said I was going to do a show, but I don't know what I was thinking because I'm going to be on an airplane heading to Kelowna for the weekend. as Kayla is bowling in provincials. So the fine art, Swervin, I can tell you in a second. But yes, so those are my shows for this week. And a reminder, did I do this already? No, I don't think I did. Reminder that you can subscribe, you can like the video, you can leave a donation. Let's see who's the first to get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your own membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, you can rate and review. The Gassy Jack art. Tomorrow, Canucks After Dark will probably be an hour. Swervin Yrvin, 10:15 to 11:15. Yeah, Erwin, I'll be in Kelowna for the deadline, but I'm going to take all my vlogging stuff just in case I have to do a couple reaction videos, immediate, videos from Kelowna, which I'll be able to do because I'll just be hanging out, flying on Thursday night. So then we're not flying late Friday night because Kayla's tourney's on Saturday. So flying Thursday night, can sleep in a bit on Friday. I can follow some trade deadline stuff, take Kayla out for lunch, take her to a practice session, and then just kind of hang out, relax. And then Gail and Sean will be joining us late Friday night. So that is the plan for Kelowna. Gassy Jack art, that whenever I say make her that fine artwork, it's Gassy Jack Art is his artist name, and he makes prints not just of Canucks but of many other teams, many other sports. But he's been very generous to me on the channel, often donating prints or donating prizes as prints as prizes for sure. And by the way, one last thing, I told you last week on my Wednesday night show, that I was contacted about from a production company who's doing a hockey series on one of the streaming platforms, and that they were going to interview me this Thursday, but they actually moved it to tomorrow. So I'm doing my interview with the production company for that show that will be on a streaming platform in the fall. I know it's a mouthful, and that is tomorrow afternoon. So wish me luck with that for sure. And Shannon has some Gassy Jack art, which is awesome. RSA, I will find, best to just go to gassyjackart.com and just send him a note and let him know. Ask him actually. And Marlo says, going to my first game in 15 or so years this weekend, flying in, hoping this team isn't looking too different. That's awesome, Marlo. Wow. So that means, are you going for the Minnesota game on Friday, or are you going for the Dallas game on the Sunday? All right, friends. Lon is back. That's awesome. Imagine we make it the playoffs, OT losses. Would be even more hilarious if we won the cup. Oh, imagine we make the playoffs with all of our OT losses. Yeah, it is not. It's not a record I'm not sure I wanted to have. Assuming the Canucks make 2 or 3 small trades on or in between now and Friday's deadline, what players can be involved? I would say Pius Suter is a small trade because he's a UFA. You could say that Derek Forbert and Carson Soucy are small trades. Those are the guys I would look at as UFAs. I don't know who else you would trade off the roster, because guys like Niels Oman or Arshdeep Bains I don't think they're fetching a lot. So you got to give up quality to get quality. So look for, when you think about trades, think of the UFAs first. Minnesota game, nice. No, I mean, you did not hear me right, RSA. I'm flying to Kelowna, not Cologne, Kelowna. It's a city in BC. Hey, Shannon, I will message you later as I bought a t-shirt with a different logo and I've not received it. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for your support. How long ago did you buy it, though? Because you got to give them some time, and especially with Threadless, I know they weren't that fast the first time, but let me know how long ago that was. No, Jeevan, I did not hear about the potential 3-way trade between the Canucks, Isles, and Canes. Put it in the chat and let me know. Let me know. Yes, Swervin Yrvin, I can answer this. I have on my notifications, I have the local guys. I have Rick Dollywall, Jeff Patterson, Thomas Drance, Sat Shaw, a couple others. And then for the national guys, I have Friedman, Drager, pretty sure I have Chris Johnson. I might even have Frank Saravelli, I think. Get rid of Forbert and Soucy and keep Suter. Friedman, Saravelli, and Dollywall. Yeah, Friedman's. I trust Friedman nationally. I trust Dollywall locally. I don't trust Saravelli. Hey, Carol. What do you think a trade for Besser could yield if it involved draft picks? Could you see the Canucks flip those roster players? Yes, I think you could. I think you can get a first for Besser. I really do. Especially if that team thinks they can sign him, and then you can flip that, kind of like what we did for the Philip Hedl deal. Sonny, I've heard different things about PD. I've heard he's quiet. I've heard he's not the most social guy. Those are some of the things that I've heard for sure. Even my cousin sat at his table at the recent Dice and Ice event, and he said PD didn't say much. Not unfriendly, but just not the most social. If we put up people for trade bait, someone has to want them. If we don't, do they? That's a good point. You got to always balance the value that you're getting and make sure that you're not getting ripped off either. We have the cap space. Who do you want to splash for? Whoever we splash for, I don't want it to be a rental. I don't want it to be a UFA. It's got to be someone with term. And I don't know who that is. I admittedly haven't really thought about it yet. Probably should have done more research before my show, which previews the trade deadline. But yeah, I haven't really thought, I heard Thomas Drance talk about Jake Evans from Montreal today as a fast right-handed center who's only 28 years old. I think you got to look at someone who's got at least a few years on their contract. That's why, like when we traded for Hronek, he wasn't like a 1 year and done. He had at least a couple years. So I think that's the kind of deal that you want to make. Who is the nicest Canuck you met? You know what's funny, Lon? The nicest Canucks I've met truly are the guys who are the role players and who don't really stick around for a long time. I was volunteering at some of the golf tournaments back in the day, and guys like Jay Beagle and Antoine Roussel were super, super nice. I had a nice exchange with Spencer Martin. I've shared that on the show a few times where he told me that he watched my videos, which is kind of cool. Kiefer Sherwood was great. Got to meet him. Roberto Luongo has always been really good to me. So those are some of them. It was Canucks get Dobson, Ranton, and Canes get Besser 50% retained, Nelson 50%, Isles get Petey and Verlander. Wow, that's massive. I think we're dreaming a little bit, but that's a rim rocker for sure. Clay, which CCC GLCPC logo is your fave? I still like the CCC one. The one, can you see it at the bottom of my screen? I'm not sure if it shows to you guys, but the standard CCC with the three letters. I do, and it's really only two logos, right? The other one is the GLCPC with the thumbs up. I like that one a lot too. But the CCC one has kind of been around a little bit longer, so I have a soft spot for that one. I think there's only two logos. We trust Clay. He's a fan just like all of us. Indeed I am. Thank you, Fillmore. I appreciate you. Decor is pretty thin if we ship off Susie and Forbert. Yeah, maybe not both. Maybe just one. Besser for Dobson. I would do it. Would the Islanders do it, though? I have 2 to 3 words about Sarah Valley, but I ain't allowed to say them here. Yeah, not everyone's a fan for sure. No problem, Carol. Catch up when you can. Dusty isn't coaching, not coaching a hockey team, fangirl, but he is doing like some life coaching, some goaltending coaching, just like with amateurs and with youth. And then I think he's doing a bit of life coaching as well. I hate the idea of trading Brock, but a first rounder, maybe a player in exchange versus a lost player to UFA. I think that's the tricky, great point, Mark. That's the tricky question, the tricky decision the Canucks are going to have to make in the next few days. Wild and Jet should be the first 2 teams wanting Besser. Do they both have cap space? Would you see the Canucks trading Besser for an impact forward? Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get the impact forward. I think you can use the asset you get in a Besser trade to help get an impact forward. But regardless, I could see the Canucks trading Brock Besser. The turning point for EP is the Andrei Kuzmenko trade. The mistake and EP performance kept going down after that. Yeah, he did have good chemistry with Kuzmenko for sure. Hey, Tyler, the poll question was, what do you want the Canucks to do on Friday's trade deadline? The final boss. Dark Horse trade target is Owen Tippett, signed to a long extension, but has been hot and cold in Philly. Yeah, there you go. Actually, SK, that's not bad. That's not bad. A lot of promise with him still. And yeah, if he has term, there we go. Hard workers and preferably underrated. Look what Vegas did with players most thought of their teams as mediocre. Yeah, and those guys, their first year, they had a chip on their shoulder, right? They were left unprotected by their teams. Ole Mata, 3.5 times 3. Yeah, that's a reasonable contract. 3 fingers, the final boss. 2 fingers, you can't see me smile. 1 finger count from The Rock. It's Roman Reigns. It's Roman Reigns. Number 1. Hey, the Honorable James Moore. We're dreaming. We don't have much in the way of trade assets. PD is a salary dump at best. Brock is a middle 6 aging UFA winger. I don't see how we get much from anywhere without Rutherford magic. That is totally fair. I won't be Hugh, but maybe some of these guys will be. By the way, I still have tickets to sell for 7 of the next 8 games for the Canucks are at home. And we've lowered the prices to some of our tickets. So email me, canuckclay@gmail.com. canuckclay@gmail.com if you want me to send you my ticket list. I've actually been sending them out quite a bit today, and I've actually had a couple bites. If Togger's not back next year, who do you want as coach? Someone that has NHL coaching experience or someone that's not been in the NHL? Definitely going to want someone with experience. We saw the Willie D experiment. Didn't work out so well. Yeah, who's out there right now that I like that doesn't have a job? I got to think about that one, actually. I don't have a good answer for you, Coach Rob. I like John Cooper, but I don't think he's free right now. Hulk Hogan is going to be the final man. What are your thoughts on the Pope's ongoing medical crisis? A few good days and seems to have setback. Yeah, well, very quickly, you could pray or hope for good health and a recovery, but it's inevitable that he will pass. I don't know if it's going to be this week or if he has a much longer timeline, but it just reminds you with any leader, and not just the Pope, it reminds you of humanity and that we all have a limited time on this earth. Sarah Valley sounds like a potato alone, and I'm not even saying he looks like one, which he does. Who's your favorite Canuck to meet back in 94? I didn't meet, I don't know if I met any in 94. Oh, I've met them as alumni, like the Yuke Lumis and David Babbages of the world for sure. Not Quinn or EP40. Can't remember what we were talking about. Adam, what's that in response to? Hey, Carol, no, haven't heard anything solid. That's the whole point of tonight's show. Haven't heard anything solid. Thank you, Trev, and same for him. Keep on helping Trev grow on his channel. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I hope your show went well tonight. What was the mood in your show? People happy, optimistic, frustrated, sad? I'll be at the Jets game on the 9th, but wearing a Solani jersey. Nice. You want them to tinker? Malhotra as a coach? Maybe. I don't think Minnesota does that. Rossi's gonna be a great player. Love the channel. Got nothing to say about this team. See you next season. Meaning you don't want to talk about the team until next season, or I'm not going to see you until next season, Adam. Nice to see you. Who were you saddest to see leave the Canucks in the past? Luongo. Luongo's my favorite Canucks player of all time. Don't like the way it happened. Winter Classic, all that kind of stuff. So probably Roberto Luongo. Angelo, hey, Canucks not doing anything at the trade deadline. Can anyone explain The Rock and just see a thing if you can't see John? That's a good point. How do we see him? Did we make any trade to our medical team? Do you think our medical team is one of the reasons why players get injured like this? No, the players themselves, I've heard Quinn Hughes and others sing the praises of the medical team. I know there's been issues in the past with Tanner Pearson's hand and other stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many of the guys are new. I do remember a couple guys leaving over the past couple of years, but it's not because I think they had a bad rep or anything like that. You have a gut feeling Alvin may target a player that's not talked about, like how Hronek. Yes, I do think they're exhausting all options. Tippett's a right winger. Thank you. Erickson for coach. Do you think EP40 has the ability to find his game? I would hope so. And where was it that I heard? I heard on someone's show that there's a bunch of coaches and GMs that think that if they got PD, they could fix him, which might be a tall ask. Yeah, it's really tough. AV. Are we at the point, do we have to attach a sweetener to be able to move PD? Perhaps. I don't know who's got $11.6 million of cap space. Oh, January 20th. You should have had it by now. You should send them a message, Shannon. And if not, I can help track it down for you. Messier for coach. Louis Erickson's contract, we are not paying for it anymore. He's not on our dead money list anymore. I think you're talking about Oliver Ekman-Larsson. That is still 3 more seasons after this. I could be, but probably not in hockey. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know RSA's question was a serious question about asking what the John Cena You Can't See Me was. I'm still not convinced it was a serious question, but I'm glad you answered it. Yeah, Glant is a good one. Actually, Glant is a good one. Thank you, Adam. I'll get to your donation in a second. What happened back in the day when the Canadians seemed to only sign Quebec-born players? No, that's the way they were building their fan base. So Victor doesn't like Sarah Valley. Canucks quiet at the deadline last year. Canucks member away viewing party. They gave away 2 signed PD jerseys and a best signed jersey. I think it's a sign they're moving up. Wow. That's interesting, Hansel. Embrace the horror that is the season and jump ship now. I'm not sure the Canucks make a trade with the Kraken, Angus. I don't know who they would target. I do know Alex Tuch's name is being floated around, but not just for the Canucks. And here we go. Our first donation of the night. Let's give some love to the returning Adam Lee. So are there 2 Adam Lees in the chat, or I'm going to click on Adam. Can anyone click on Adam Lee's name in the chat, the one that got the gift, and where does that go to? That is the strangest thing. Adam Lee was gifted a membership by Adam Lee. Oh, yeah, Adam, I don't know what happened. If it charges you twice, just tell me and I'll send you $5. But I really appreciate you gifting a membership to yourself. So let's give some love in the chat to Adam Lee. I'm not sure. I've never seen that before. That's very impressive. And then Adam also gifts another membership. So let's give him some love for that. And that one does not go to Adam Lee. That one goes to JL. So welcome JL and Adam to membership, courtesy of Adam. Let's give Adam some love in the chat. Thank you, Adam, for your generosity. That is the strangest thing I've ever seen. Well, not the strangest thing I've ever seen, but it's got to be out there. One of the strangest things I've seen on the stream, for sure. My show was on Besser getting traded for Rantanen. Lots of people want to talk about Brock. Others want to talk about EP 40 getting traded. The mood was good. Awesome. Happy to hear that. Bonus and Woodcroft and Gallant aren't working. Okay. I actually like Gallant. Self-gift. If the Canucks don't get past round 1, who is your top backup team in the East and your backup team in the West? If you mean who do I think is going to go far? My second favorite team has always been the Winnipeg Jets. Most people know that. And then my third team is Tampa. My fourth favorite team is Colorado. This is tough because I'm trying to think of who I would root for Winnipeg if the Canucks don't make the playoffs. I would root for Winnipeg, and I'd actually root for Winnipeg until they meet the Canucks, but that could be the first round. In the East, before the season started, I will happily or begrudgingly admit I picked Dallas versus the Rangers. Dallas is still an option. The Rangers obviously not. Dallas is actually creeping up now. They're the second best team in the West. So maybe I just don't like Pacific teams aside from the Canucks. So maybe I'm going Winnipeg or Dallas from the West. And then East, I refuse to pick Toronto. Florida's going to be without Matthew Tkachuk for a while. Tampa's actually playing very well recently. And Tampa's got a lot of veteran experience. Can you pick against Washington though? But maybe that's the easy pick. I don't know. Okay, fine. Washington and Tampa in the West, in the East, Dallas and Winnipeg in the West. Do I think EP40 has the ability to find his game? I don't know. I hope so, obviously, as a Canucks fan, but I don't know. Is there a coaching change? Do you think he plays better in a different coach? Yeah, I have heard that he is afraid to talk it. I'm not saying they don't get along, but I've heard that he's kind of afraid to talk it. And I've talked about that on this show before. EP is 2 for 2 seasons with this game going missing after the All-Star break. How do I feel about Miller's success in New York? Not surprising. He's a good player. And the Rangers they've crept back to fighting for a playoff spot, right? Yeah, I don't mind. Like, I don't hate him. I don't dislike him at all. I don't mind him I don't mind him doing him well. Sorry, I can't believe I can't speak. I don't mind seeing him do well because it's not like only him or PD can do well. Both of them can do well, but only one of them is right now. Why is there still any optimism about this team? I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of people spend a lot of time, energy, and money on this team, so they want them to do well. They want them to do well. All right, Clay, would you do Gunther for best in a Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. But I don't think Utah does that. When I go to games, I usually sit in 319 or 316 or 321. Usually 319. That's like my home base. I did not feel the earthquake this morning. I heard about it. Canucks 56-56 won at Edison. Oh, this isn't the first time you give yourself a membership? That is so strange, Adam. Who is your favorite coach in Vancouver? That coach in a hockey team? I did like Alain Vigneault a lot. And I did like Pat Quinn, but Vigneault's been my favorite. Adam, it's like that Spider-Man gif. Hey, Jay. Canucks had everything go right last season, and this year had everything go wrong. So which one's the outlier? Was last year the outlier? Is this year the outlier? The French-Canadian thing still persists. Many fans believe that the coach being able to speak French is a non-negotiable. That is fair. That is fair. Giftception, yes. Wow, we have a brand new member, which is awesome. Let's give some love to, is it Kygil or Kagil? Or am I putting the pronunciation wrong somewhere? But that is awesome. Welcome to franchise membership. We have a brand new member. How do I call you? Is it Keg or Kagil? That is great. Welcome to franchise membership. That is awesome. Happy to have you part of the CCC crew. Let's give some love to Kagil3 in the chat, our newest franchise member. That is great. That is great. That is great. 3 times that you've given yourself a membership. Dean Evison, that's right. Hey, Adam, I gave 5 memberships yesterday. So I give it every 2 weeks. Dallas is primed for a run. That is 2/5 of the high 5. That is true. Going for the Caps, OV Cup winners. Columbus and Calgary Stanley Cup final either this season. Oh, that's a bit of a stretch for me. EP40 is done. Jets versus Caps. OV want to go out with another cup. Yeah. Hey, Lucas. Someone else mentioned Manny Malhotra as well. Maybe. CBJ is getting the playoffs this season. Who do you think wins now between Tampa versus Florida? Oh, that's gonna be such a good series. Tampa's right there with a couple games in hand. I kind of think Tampa, maybe. Sleepy 40. I haven't heard that one. That's not bad. If there's a CCC stream bingo, what should be on there? Well, probably a lag of some sort. Probably someone coming in late and asking what they missed. Sorry. What else is there? There's at least those ones. A Mitchell sponsor read, a donation. What else? Yeah, actually, that's a good one. Maybe that's something we can have fun with on another stream for sure. Could they hire BX as another coach with his son playing for the Coquitlam Express? Yeah, Hansel, I don't know if BX would have an appetite for that. He might really like his TV gig right now. I'd be afraid of Talkit too. Yeah, no, he's nasty for sure. Oh, Gunther the wrestler? I don't think so. Fans are always optimistic, but when we stink, we also smoke more weed. Well, you might, Mark. I don't. I'm trying to cut down. Trade deadline is actually this Friday. Yeah, it's an interesting time in this world right now, Lucas, for sure. For sure. Hey, Rosie. Rosero, nice to see you. Clay, would you like me to update you at the game on Friday, like through Instagram or an email? Would you like me to update you? What does that mean, Edison? I'm not, I've mentioned a couple times, I'm not going to the game this Friday because I'll be in Kelowna. I thought I was going to be going to the game, but I won't be. Adam gifts his third membership of the night, second membership that isn't him. So let's give Adam some love in the chat. Thank you for your generosity, Adam Lee. And this one goes to Rosario. Nice to see a familiar name. So once again, thank you. Let's give some love to Adam and let's give a warm welcome back to Rosario. Franchise membership for a month. Kai. Not Cahill. Kai. Hill. Kyle. I'm going with Kyle. Easier for me. Thank you, Kyle. That's awesome. Glad that you're here. It's all right. People can prognosticate all they want. A bingo card. Yes, Mama Emo Square. That would be good. Yes, Potato Clay should be there. Skytrain Alfred. That's true. What we need is a nice guy coach. Filipino Square. That's good. Bowling Talk Square. That is true. That is true. Can I text you about the game updates? I'm not sure what you're asking, Edison. But I did see you send me some stuff on Instagram for sure. Clay, would you be surprised if the Canucks didn't make any trades? Yes, I would be. I think they're going to do something. Might not be massive, but I think they're going to do something. We need Alfred to do his voice for all the trades at the deadline. That would be good. A Pepsi Sip Square, good. You know what? I think one day we will do a bingo card. That'll be fun. How can Canucks management expect to have a collective team when they trade players more than anyone? Shouldn't the worst teams in the league be trading players all the team? Speaks volume. Yeah, and might be hard to attract free agents if they're afraid that they're just going to get traded anyways. Let's give some love for legendary Lucas Gates. Thank you, Lucas, for the $5 donation. If Juice was to be involved with hockey out here, I might as well get an autism acceptance jersey for him or something else. You might as well do it. Do it. Thank you for the donation, Lucas. Yeah, keep going, Swervin Yrvin. And we have a monthly membership message. Hey, Brian, I know you're overseas, so I know that you weren't able to join our chat on Sunday night. What Canadian wrestler would you put in a hockey team in their position? Canadian wrestler. Glad I can catch your stream from Asia. Thank you for making the time from Asia. Canadian wrestler, got to go with Bret Hart, in his prime. And I could see him being a center, like kind of a good skater, but tough, gritty, like a third line center. Maybe we want more flash and dash, but yeah, I'll go with Bret Hart. I like that question. That's a good question. And yes, that's 4/5 of the high five. We've had someone bought their own membership, someone used monthly membership message, someone gave donation, and someone has gifted memberships. So now all someone has to do is upgrade their membership either from franchise to Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame to Legend. And that does trigger a giveaway, not tonight, but in the near future. Yeah, we're talking about promoting Malhotra, Tyler, if it happens. Kyle's a fan since 82. There's been many worse seasons than this year. I'm optimistic because we have a decent decor, the best team in the league, above average goaltending, and underperforming forwards. That's a very positive take. I do think, despite what we've seen in the last couple of games, I do think our defense is a lot better. And we do have good goaltending for sure. And the best defenseman in the league. But it's all got to come together at the right time. The Hanson brothers. Video lag square. Pepsi challenge. Pick Coke and you're traded. Audio lag square. Brian gifts a membership. That is awesome. Let's give some love to Brian in the chat. Hall of Fame member Brian Blingy Choi, all the way from Asia, gifts a membership, and it goes to KC. So welcome to franchise membership for a month at least, KC. And thank you very much for your generosity, Brian Blingy Choi. Let's make sure we give Brian some love in the chat. Okay, guys, going to go for just a couple more minutes. Doing great, Windy. Hope you're doing well, Windy City Hockey. I don't think we'll need a convention center for CCC meetup. I think a pub will do just fine. High Five Square, Bret Hart in all positions. Oh, sweet. Oh, too bad I'm not going to the game because usually I sit around there. That's good. I'm happy you got good seats, Edison. That's great. Everyone's asking everyone else to upgrade to trigger the high five. Underperforming forwards is an understatement. Yeah, we don't want to force anyone to upgrade for sure. Oh, Adam's saying Malhotra is too nice. We don't know that for sure, though. Swap a Western team and an Eastern team to make the league more entertaining. Which two teams would you swap? I think I would put Edmonton in the New York, New Jersey division, because in Washington, because think of all the matchups with New York and then the Hughes brothers and stuff. And then I would bring Toronto here. It would just be crazy if Toronto in the Western Conference. They used to be in the West Side before, right? Good question, Knuckleback. Dad joke square, of course. Of course. If you could have one Hall of Fame player who didn't play for Vancouver in their career, who you love to see in Canucks jersey? Gretzky. Gretzky. Lemieux. Any of those two guys would be amazing in a Canucks uniform. Hey, Mark Sankita of Canucks After Dark. No, not Canucks After Dark. That's my show of Game Over Vancouver. That's the one I was trying to say. Let's give some love to Mark. Thank you for the donation, Mark. Hope you're doing well. That's Mark from Game Over. Thanks for the donation. Hope you are awesome. Then we got Canucks need some toughness and grit with a bit of scoring touch in regular season playoffs. Yeah, Justin, they're not. They're far from perfect. That is for sure. Legendary Lucas Gates with another donation. I've made myself available to design an autism design for any of the 32 teams in the league for next season. I messaged a club, and it's not Vancouver. Vancouver is still being worked on. I wish you luck, Lucas. Your designs are very good. Let's give Lucas some love in the chat. Yes, we played Vancouver in the West Final. A couple of years saying that about 1994. Another CC Bingo Square. Clay reads name on displays comment of someone with a questionable user handle. That is true. And then I accidentally show it for sure. All right, friends. I'm going to wrap up here. You got 2 minutes if someone wants to upgrade their membership to fulfill the high five. Otherwise, we're good. Appreciate your generosity. Appreciate you guys being here tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's Canucks After Dark at 10:15. Gives me a chance to get home from bowling, and I will not be doing my own show tomorrow. Then I'll be doing my own show on Wednesday, and then no show on Thursday. Would I consider Besser for Rantanen retained if that was on the table? Yes, I would. I just don't think that's on the table. That's just my guess. All right, friends, you guys are awesome. I'm awesome. You're awesome. Canucks are sort of awesome, and this community is awesome. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Harry Mall, both of who were here tonight, which is awesome. Legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks for your support as well. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Like the video on the way out, subscribe. You can leave a late donation as well. Thanks to my sponsors, Van City Experts and Coach Patrick Liu, weight loss coach. And thanks to everyone who went above and beyond today. And there's a lot. Adam gives a membership to himself. Adam then gives another membership. Kyle became a franchise member. Adam gives a third membership. Lucas donation. Brian monthly membership message. Brian gifted a membership. Mark with the donation, and then Lucas with the donation. So much generosity tonight. Very grateful to all of you for being so generous and helping this community keep on going. So again, tomorrow night, Canucks After Dark. Won't be doing my own show, so hope you can join Parker and me at 10:15 tomorrow night. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. What did the duck say to the waiter when he brought the check? What did the duck say to the waiter when he brought the check? He said, just put it on my bill. Put it on my bill. God bless, and go Canucks go. Bill ya.